Dan Drezner has started doing a monthly column for World Politics Review, and his first one he talks about whether fears of a great power war could be actually making one more likely. And he said, look, there have been four pillars to peace. Uh, we've had U.S. hegemony, we've had a commercial interdependence between nations, we've had nuclear deterrence. And a fourth one, he said, that is somewhat less appreciated is that people just don't conceive of the possibility of war, right? The thought of war is unthinkable. This is actually a concept that John Mueller liked to talk about and wrote, as part of his obsolescence of modern war, retreat from doomsday concept, right? And so Drezner's saying, look, as they start fearing great power war, they start thinking of great power war as a more conceivable thing, right? That's I think, a big part of that. And that makes a lot of sense to me that, well, I wouldn't do it, but the other guy's going to, so I'm worried about it, right? As far as the other pillars, though, hegemony, right? We're seeing a diminution of American hegemony, but does that mean that we're going to get war? Because, now we're talking about balances of power and polarity. And are we moving into a multipolar world where we're really worried, or are we moving into more of a bipolar world? And even when we talk about poles, to what extent are democracies grouped together in a way that they, even if India is not completely on our side, we're not worried about India attacking us, right? So it's not quite the shootout at the end of the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? There's that question. Drezner also is very concerned that we are seeing the retreat from interdependence as nations are starting to disentangle their relations and we start dividing up the camp. We aren't going to have as much economic or commercial connection with one another. And so that could be, weakening that pillar. Although that pillar is a lot stronger than it was in the Cold War, but that is a concern with everyone trying to disentangle. Which then leaves us with the effect of nuclear deterrence. And in that, I say, well, and it's kind of saying it's a little worrisome that we seem to be more reliant on that than we used to. The question, and I'll probably consider in another video, does it have to be nuclear? Or, is deterrence about just military power, in which case the U.S. has a lot? Something to think about.